So, now that I've given some basic advice for what you should do right out of the gate, there's a little bit of what I want to talk about. I want to explain some of the fun things in this game that you can do early on, but also I want to get it understood how to get XP really well. Now, I'll just start how to optimize XP first off. There is an item called the friendship circlet. I'm wearing it right now. You get it from being recruited to the game or recruiting somebody else to the game. There's the Aetheryte rear earring that you get from pre-ordering Shadowbringers. There is a ring, not this ring, but a ring that you get from doing the Hall of the Novice, which you should do at level 15. The moment you hit level 15, go do Hall of the Novice at your inn. It'll be a green symbol. That will give you the brand new ring. And you should eat food when you have it. I don't have any. That gives you a bonus. You should join a free company. And join the one that wants to give you an XP boost. Leave the one that won't give you an XP boost. Then once you join a grand company, you can get scrolls, which will give you an XP boost. And it gets a little bit more, inconvenient. If you're a returner, you can get an XP boost from that. I believe you can get an XP boost from inviting somebody to the game. I'm not sure. Now, with that explained, I want you to understand that your daily leveling roulette, which you don't start out with, is the most powerful source of XP you can get your hands on. You should do it every day, or if you get on and you haven't done it, and you can stomach a dungeon, which is typically no longer than 20 minutes. If your dungeon takes longer than 20 minutes, it means you've probably got a bad party. But it is what it is. But daily leveling roulette is the most XP. Well, it's the most progression is the way I like to gauge it. So MSQ is a little bit more progression than that because it locks you out of future dungeons if you don't have it completed, and oftentimes it gives you a lot of XP. Under that, for progression, is a dungeon that is your level. And under that is deep dungeon, and I can explain, how to unlock that later. It's at, after you hit level 16, there's a quest that, after you hit a certain point in MSQ, which is most likely to have you at level 17 or 18 by that point, you'll then you'll be able to unlock a quest in the Gridania Inn that will send you to Palace of the Dead, and that is a rank down from a dungeon your level, and it's very good if you can get to floor 51 as a DPS, because you'll have an instant queue. You won't have to wait for a queue. For a DPS, you usually have to wait 20 minutes to get into a dungeon, so an instant queue for a DPS is amazing, especially if you don't have any friends. It's also kind of brain dead, so you don't have to focus, so you can just relax, listen to a podcast or some music while doing a deep dungeon. It's easy XP. It's not optimized XP, but it's easy XP. Then below that is Fates. And below that is Sidequests. And there you go. And below that would be killing mobs your level, unless you're a blue mage. Don't be bothered by that. That's you'll learn about blue mage later. You can't unlock it until you get into Heavensward. Now, as far as fun things go in this game, it's why you should do your main story quest. People are going to try to, get you up to pace, So you can do content with them. That's why they want you to do MSQ. But the fun stuff is locked behind MSQ, main story quest. The stuff at the top left up here. Do this as much as you can. There's going to be like 80 hours, 60 hours of raw questing for main story quest until you're done with the base game. But that's alright. That's alright. It's just part of the process. You can skip it if you want to, if you want to pay money. I don't recommend it. There's a lot of cool lore. If you're a lore man, I would recommend that you do Realm Reborn. Realm Reborn is not a good example for, you know, what the expansions are like. The expansions are a lot more engaging. They're a lot more interesting. They're a lot more charming than the base game. So, but as you go on, you should keep an eye out for blue quests, because those things will unlock stuff for you, and you should especially do your side quests because they are fun. Early on, combat is really boring. Combat's going to be boring until you hit level 50. For some people, it never gets interesting. It's one of the downsides of the game is it's not very racy. It's not very stimulating. This ain't no Terra. We've got long cooldowns. Got long GCD. It is what it is. And just as a warning, if you're thinking about like whether or not you're going to enjoy the game, I believe that Final Fantasy XIV is the best MMO out there, except in a handful of categories. First off, there's not a lot of mounts in the game. It suffers from not enough mount syndrome. There's long GCD, like I explained. Some people describe it to be a turn-by-turn game because of how slow it is. The PvP is really dry. And the gear in the game is exceedingly boring. These are Final Fantasy's worst parts of it, but everything else in the game is beautiful. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but if there weren't so many critics out there, I would be bragging, saying that Final Fantasy is perfect in every other area. I really suggest Final Fantasy to people if they are immediately bothered by what I just mentioned. Anyway, have fun out there. Hope you take my advice. Make sure you play the way that makes you want to play more.